Hunting Matthew Nichols is a 2024 found footage mockumentary sort of true crime thriller horror film directed by Markian Tarasiuk. He filmed it all himself in Vancouver, and it's about the disappearance in 2001 of a young man named Matthew Nichols, and him and his buddy disappeared on Halloween night, and they were never found. The police found their camcorder at a cabin in the middle of the Black Bear Forest up at the northern part of the island. Close community of like 20,000 people, so it really shook the community down. And now the director and his cameraman Ryan, the very small crew, have contacted Tara Nichols, the sister of the young man who disappeared, in order to sort of reinvestigate what happened to him. So first off, the movie is pretty well done. I think it's the production values is too good, to be honest. When you think of found footage documentary films, you think of like a little bit shabby in terms of handheld stuff, or the acting, but the acting was really weird for this movie. The beginning, I want to say the first maybe half an hour, the actress who plays Tara is just too happy. She's really smiley and like awkward. And I'm like, when she goes back home, she's still smiling. And I'm like, aren't these people coming into your life to help you find your missing brother? Isn't that something that's kind of like dour and kind of like sad and is bringing up old memories? It doesn't kick in for about half an hour when she's in the car. And then, he's making a joke and she's like, don't make light of my life or whatever. And I'm like, where did that, that should have been the sort of apprehensive nature of her performance at the beginning of the movie. But it's all shot on location on a really small micro budget of like a little over $250,000. So but the camera work is too good in terms of like, there's a lot of good B-roll footage of beautiful British Columbia, but also just the way they set up stuff. They set up tripods a lot, and then they each have their own camera. So there's at least 3 to 4 cameras per scene, and it's a little too much coverage, kind of. It doesn't feel like a found footage movie. It feels like more of a Netflix true crime doc, which is what they're going for. But I feel like they should have scaled down the good setup sort of nature of the film. It was, especially for the second half when they go into the forest again. But this movie is pretty solid. It gets the job done. It's not too amazing. A little bit slow in the middle, but basically Markian helps Tara interview some people, and they try to retrace the steps of the night, and you get the whole layout of what happened and the weird urban legend that happens up there too. And of course the finale is kind of like the last 20 to 30 minutes or so of them going back to retrace the steps physically of where Matthew disappeared. And the movie, it gets the job done in terms of thrills. It doesn't do anything new with the genre. Kind of felt like they could have done a little bit more crazy stuff at the end, because now that I know what the budget is, the acting of the main actress is a little bit iffy at times, and she's kind of the main focus of the movie too. So I didn't like that she was very smiley and very happy at the beginning of the movie, and then she only started to get serious 30 minutes in. That was weird. Everyone else was kind of acting circles around her, from the police lady to the mayor to all the other people like the anthropologists and stuff like that. It was kind of weird, and Markian did an okay job. He's the director. He's not in the movie a lot though, so I'm glad he didn't. Same for Ryan, the cameraman. I just kind of felt like the movie needed to be a little bit more audacious in the end and do something a little bit crazier. There's some cool moments in the movie, but overall doesn't stray too far from being a new classic or anything. It sort of plays a little bit safe. So I give Hunting Matthew Nichols a 5 out of 10.